Welcome to Endless BMW Projects. This is part 2 of the fog light lens replacement for my E30 convertible. You will see another link for part 1 if you guys haven't watched it yet. Alright, so for painting you will need to be using kind of a dark gray color. I thought that the paint I was going to use, this was just primer, was going to be dark enough, but it wasn't. You will see at the end of the video how it will look. I think it was a little bit too bright, but I think it did the job quite well. So just give it a light coat. Remember, this is glass, so this will stick well to glass. I think if you just use the regular paint, it will do a lot of orange peeling action, so that's why I used a filler primer for this. Alright, once that is done drying, I think you have to wait around an hour or so. You can just take all that protective tape out. I made sure it fit well and it looked okay. Anyways, another thing you can also do is to recondition your rubber gasket that was around the lens before we took the old ones out. First of all, right now I'm just cleaning all the old dirt out, scraping it with a little screwdriver. It's just all the glue, the old sealant. So you're just doing prep work for it. Okay, so once you're done cleaning the gasket, you can just grab the silicone grease. You can just buy this at any hardware store in the plumbing section. I used the blue paper towel, the shop towel, because that one sucks in really well. And just use really little amounts because it's very strong. And just thoroughly pass it over. Now what this does, it reconditions the rubber in a way that it humidifies it. So also puts a protective coat on it so it doesn't crack as it gets older. So as you can see, I'm lightly using that silicone grease. I just make sure I found some dirt there, so I'm trying to pry it out. The other thing too, I want to recondition, there's a little rubber that goes on the cap where it covers the bulb. So I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's like an O-ring that is snapped in place in that cap. So I was just cleaning it there and reconditioning it with silicone grease as well. Also, I reconditioned the little caps that go on top of the screws that you can the regulating screws that go on the fog light lens. You don't really need to do some silicone grease there, but it doesn't hurt. All right, so this is a fun part. So just make sure the silicone sealant is not clogged. So just use a screwdriver to unclog it. As you can see in the video, I'm trying to not put too much or too little in terms of sealant on that little plastic perimeter. And after that, you'll see that I'm gonna spread it out evenly with my fingers. But I'm trying to just do an even coat around that fog light. So now you can see that I'm just spreading it out with my fingers evenly. You don't want to get too much because once you put the lens on top, the sealant will overflow and then will stick to the walls inside the fog lights and it'll look horrible. So this is just a one-time job, so just press it lightly with your hand and then you will have to use the clamps. Just firmly press it. It has to be all even pressure. Some people, what they do is they put the fog light upside down and they put books on top overnight, but I don't like doing that. I like using clamps for it. So in some of the excess, I just wiped it down and I spread it across the fog light. That way it covers any kind of holes that were left when I was doing this. Alright, so once that's done, grab the clamps. And there's many different clamping points, and you'll see how I'm fighting where to clamp it. And don't use those junky Harbor Freight orange looking ones because they're horrible. I put the clamp right where the bulb goes, in between that and the lens, so it firmly presses it there. Then as you can see, I'm trying to fight with those little clamps again, and it's just a nightmare. Don't use them. You really don't need them. You actually just need two, and later on you'll see why. I'm just trying to show what I did wrong in there. So in this one, you see how I use a big clamp, and then the other small ones are not doing too much. Actually, the big clamp is enough to press those lenses in. Make sure you don't tighten them too much because you may crack the glass. So this is after one day. I have to wait around 24 hours to make it dry. And I just am taking the clamps out, and then you'll see how the fog light is actually pretty nicely sealed. And there was some excess silicone on top of the lens, and I'll show you later on how to clean that. That's how it looks. Next was an other fog light. I'll just fast forward into this video because it's pretty much the same. So it's just one-time job with a fog light, just snuck it in place at once. And that's it. Push it evenly with your hand after if you want, or just use a clamp. So yeah, there you go. You see the big clamp, I'm trying to press it in. It's quite tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward. Honestly, you only need that one big clamp. You don't need the other small ones. I just wanted to be safe, and my OCD couldn't help it. I took a look at the gaskets that I reconditioned earlier on, and that's how it looks. I think it's in really good shape. Well, one fog light dries. I'm working on the other one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and install the rubber gasket. So I use super glue and just lightly coat, and quickly because it dries really fast, the inside part of the rubber gasket. So once you're done with the glue, so quickly place it on top of the lens and just make sure it has an even fit. I used tape just to make sure that the gasket didn't move while it was drying. So this is just a precaution. Use your teeth to cut the tape, always. And there you go, that's how it looks. So after you're done with that, you can go ahead and install the frame for the fog light. I just gave it a thorough clean in there. I know nobody's gonna see it, but it will bother me if it's dirty. If you don't know which one goes where, there's also a little label on that frame. So if it's R, it's for the right hand side, L for the left hand side. So after you snap it into place, put the adjuster screw in. First put the long one, and then just screw it in. It's pretty long, so it'll take some time. Then I went ahead and I installed the little screw covers. To attach a light bulb is very simple. Just clip that connector in and then put the light bulb inside the socket. You'll see two little clips. So and then just put them back in place and then press them in. It should be pretty snug. Then just put the bulb cap back on. And then the little screw. You can do the same thing with the other fog light. So I had to wait another extra day for that because it was drying. There I'm also showing how I'm cleaning it. I use a sharp razor blade with rubbing alcohol and also the shop towel with a rubbing alcohol. So that seems to do the job if you have any kind of silicone sealant on the lens. And there you have it. That's how it looks now. I think it looks really, really nice. This is a better option than just buying brand new fog lights. Each fog light I think is around $150 and just a set of 2 lenses is $30. So I think it's a pretty good deal. This is a before and after. So that's a 25-year-old lens on the top. And this is a brand new one at the bottom. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about these 2 videos. Click like if you like the video and see you guys in the next one.